Enda Brady, 2 years ago, I stood outside Downing Street watching a new era emerge as Keir Starmer was driven in the gates dramatically with a massive majority in Westminster. 2 years later, he's gone. How did that happen?
Look, he didn't have a message. He didn't have a plan, and it's unraveled very, very quickly. And there'd been lots of kind of resets and rumors of plotting behind the scenes. But I think what really accelerated his demise was Andy Burnham's stunning victory in that by-election last week. 55% of the vote. And I think a lot of the Labour politicians did the sums. They looked ahead and they thought, do we want to stick with Starmer and lose the next election, or get this guy in and see if he can sprinkle some razzmatazz on British politics and make Labour popular again? It's as simple as that. And it's a shame for him to have come in with such a big landslide of a majority. He could have done anything with the numbers he had, and he ended up doing nothing. They've got a nice life. They're not short of a bob or two. He will leave politics now, and I'm guessing he'll go back to law, which was his first love.
Yeah, so talk to me then about the timeline, because he's not standing down today. He's allowing a period for a successor to be put forward by the Labour Party.
Yes, so they'll take nominations in the second week in July. He will stay on until a successor is appointed. There was talk of there being a battle for the leadership. There's not going to be one now, because anyone with a brain will read the numbers, and Andy Burnham's people are saying he has the support of 200 MPs. He only needs 81, and anyone going up against him, the numbers just aren't there. So ultimately, it's going to be a coronation. There will be no one else standing against Andy Burnham. Andy Burnham will win. He will be the new Labour leader and de facto Prime Minister. He just wasn't a politician. He was a leader who couldn't lead. So there was no message. There was no plan. And I think the one thing that the British public were crying out for in July 2024 was a little bit of hope. And Keir Starmer stood up and said, look, I need to be honest with you. Things are going to get worse before they get better. And the public couldn't believe what they were hearing.
Yeah, so tell us then, what makes Andy Burnham the Great White Hope? Is it his previous time as Secretary of Health? Why are Labour Party figures putting so much expectation in him?
It's because he's a very good communicator. He lands the message, he knows what he wants to say, and he's a very good worker of a room. He was in Westminster, he was in cabinet, he tried to be Labour leader twice and they didn't choose him. And now he's back and he's got 9 years under his belt of running a big city like Manchester and doing a very good job up there. You speak to people who even vote Conservative and they will tell you, oh, I like Andy Burnham though. So he has this kind of like political Heineken, for want of a better phrase. He reaches parts others simply can't. And I think Labour will be hoping that he can inject a little bit of his own personal razzmatazz into the party nationwide. But Burnham, I think, will punch through, because Starmer was North London establishment. He had a knighthood. He's a lawyer. He just didn't get politics. And Andy Burnham does, big time.
Tomorrow is 10 years since the Brexit vote. David Cameron, Theresa May, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, Keir Starmer, and now Andy Burnham. So that'll be 7 prime ministers basically in the space of a decade. Is British politics broken because the British economy is broken?
That's a very, very good question. The British economy is broken because of Brexit. Let's just state that now. And you will get all sorts of economists coming on and saying, well, there's other headwinds and there's Ukraine and the Strait of Hormuz. Ukraine has been going on 4 years. Brexit's been going on 10. Strait of Hormuz has been going on since February of this year alone. The UK economic woes can be traced directly back to Brexit. Year on year, it's getting worse. The question I would ask is, has the UK become ungovernable? You know, they're behaving like the former owner of Chelsea Football Club, Abramovich. Don't like a manager? Lose a game? Chop change. And things never got any better for him. And look how that ended. So I think Andy Burnham just needs to get into Downing Street and be very frank with the British public and say, I am going to move mountains for you. I am going to work so hard. There will be no more political psychodrama, because I think the public have had enough. And Farage he needs to tackle that head on and just say, this is a battle now for Britain's future, and I'm going to drag this country back into the centre ground, because that's where elections are won, not in the fringes.
What about his relationship with Donald Trump? What's that likely to be like? Because Starmer tried to pacify Trump during his engagements with him.
Yes, he did, famously producing that letter from the king out of his pocket and then sorting out a second state visit, which was unprecedented. No American president had ever had that before. The British literally rolled out the red carpet for Donald Trump, and within a fortnight, he was peeing all over it, for want of a better phrase. Excuse my language there, Fionnan. Look, I think Burnham will be smart enough to realize that Trump doesn't have that much long left in power. If I was advising Burnham, I would just say to him, look, keep this guy at arm's length, have nothing to do with him. Nothing good is going to come. And let him rant on social media, but just keep him at arm's length. And I think what you will see is Burnham reaching out to the power players in Europe and making friendships, realigning the relationship with the European Union. And I reckon in the next 5 to 7 years, there'll be another referendum on rejoining the EU.
With a selfish hat on, what's this going to mean for Ireland? Burnham has strong Irish roots.
Well, I think he will be very pro-Irish and Ireland. I think he will want to work with the Dublin government. He will reach out to Belfast. And I think Burnham is smart enough to realise that he needs to keep his United Kingdom together. So I think he will reach out to all parties in the north of Ireland. I think he is someone who is pragmatic and will just want to offer the hand of friendship and to keep going in the vein that Starmer did. But, the days of conservatives and people talking down and perhaps not even grasping the reality of political life in Ireland, Burnham is smart enough to know that he needs a strong United Kingdom, and the only way they can have that is if they've strong relations with their nearest neighbours.
Finally, an interesting point arises here. Andy Burnham is a practicing Catholic. What does that mean in terms of becoming the Prime Minister?
There's never been a Catholic Prime Minister. I remember uproar in the late 90s when someone found out Tony Blair was going to Catholic Mass. This was worthy of newspaper headlines. Obviously, his wife, Cherie Blair, was Catholic, but Blair choosing to go and pray in a Catholic church caused consternation in Westminster. So he will be, to my knowledge, the first practicing Roman Catholic which church or religious building Andy Burnham chooses to set foot in every Sunday or any other day of the week. That should be no one's business. Good luck to him.
Okay, Enda Brady, we'll watch with interest to see what happens. Thank you very much for joining us.